We should all know less about each other is probably a phrase that you have heard on social media if you're someone like me who's an absolute addict to brain rot. And you know what? This phrase actually applies to your own life, honey bun, baby girl. You need to share less because we should all know less about each other. And the reason you're probably getting played in your life, the reason why you're probably restless, you're probably not at peace, the way that you probably aren't getting what you want in your life isn't manifesting, is because you are sharing way too much. You are giving your power away by sharing way too much, and you don't even know it because you think that by sharing with other people, you're getting more back. You're going to get reciprocation. But you know what? People are not as nice as you think that they are, especially not men. They're not as nice as you think that they are. And if you are a beautiful woman, if you're someone who's actually serious about getting your dream life, making your vision board an actual vision instead of just like pieces of paper hanging on your wall, you need to clock that we need to know less about each other, which works in two different ways. One, you need to share less with other people because you know what? They don't care. And if they do, they'll use it against you, or they're probably haters in the first place. Second, you should not care about what other people are trying to spill on you. Because you know what? The only reason that they do that is because they want you to trauma dump with them, or they want you to trauma bond with them. That's the correct thing. They want you to trauma bond with them. So, when you are someone who overshares too much, you're telling everyone about like the size and the shape of your poop. You're like telling people about everything that went down between you and your man yesterday, what was up and what was down, including you. Um, and you're telling everyone about like how much money you got, what are your vision and dreams and everything for your life. You are putting yourself in a very, very vulnerable position because you have a better chance of being someone who is trauma bonded with people that are not going to care about your connection. When you overshare too much, you actually end up feeling like people owe you something because that's how we're built in nature. We believe in reciprocity. We believe in reciprocation, okay? We believe that if we give something, that means that people owe us something back. And that's how we end up becoming really, really bitter and really, really mad at everyone in the world because we don't understand every time we share something, we end up getting played. And we think that the only way to combat that is to share more and more and more. So we end up getting played more and more and more because we don't realize that what we're doing is actually setting ourselves up for letting people play us because now they know more about us and they can use that against us. That is the first way you're letting yourself be played, by sharing way too much about your life. What are the things that you need to share way less about yourself? Well, first and foremost, your relationship. It's not anyone's business who you're in a relationship with, who you're dating, how many people you're dating, what goes down, who's up and down, and what you did last Friday. That's not anyone's business. And if people want to have that, like if they want to be in your business, then you should probably clock them as someone who's being a red flag. Second thing, your financial situation. You should not be sharing with anyone, and not even someone who's like extremely close to you. Like most people are not people that are safe for you to share your financial situation with, because most likely, again, if you're a beautiful woman, if you're someone who's used to being a people pleaser or overcompensator or whatever, if you're not someone who has really, really strong boundaries, most likely people will use this against you and they will try to make you pay for things. They'll try to make you do everything for them. So sometimes it's just better to keep your cards close to yourself, okay? And one other thing that you need to stop sharing with everyone is like wanting company. Like one thing that I know for sure that a lot of girls do online is that they share they go on their Instagram when they get broken up with, they share on their Instagram like, I want a man, or like, I want company. That is a really, really easy way for you to get played, because you're literally saying to everyone, you're open, like, I'm for sale, like, I am easy to talk to now because I don't have anyone in my life. It's literally screaming desperation. It's you going to the mall, picking out a body spray, and this body spray's name is Eau de Desperation. And it's not even eau de parfum. It's like eau de toilette. It's like, it's not even, it's just a body spray. It's like worse than a Victoria's Secret body spray because it reeks of desperation. And that is how you end up getting got, because you're sharing too much. You end up getting played because you think that you're being honest. But you know what? Honesty is some type of word that men or patriarchy invented for women to spill all their beans so that the men can clock their beans and use those beans against the women. So it's better for you to just be like, oh, you know what? I'm not sure I know you well enough to share that with you. You can say that to people. Oh, that's an interesting thing. Maybe when we know each other better, maybe I can share that with you. I'd love to get to know you better and see if you're the type of person I feel comfortable sharing that with. Because you know what? People are getting too comfortable trying to like dick in your laundry basket. They want to know everything about you, and they think that, oh, we should all know more about each other. No, we should know less about each other. And that's why on social media we've all become a little comfortable. That's why I always say that it's a good idea to stop posting so much about everything that you're doing the exact minute you're doing it on social media. Like, are you traveling somewhere? Don't post that like the minute you're gone. Post it a couple days later. Don't post everything that you're doing when you're doing it. Post it in a photo dump like a week later or something, because people are gonna clock it and they're gonna try to use it against you. They're gonna be like, oh, why are you there? Who are you with? Blah 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 blah. And they're gonna feel entitled to you. And if you're someone who has had an issue with having lower boundaries, or like maybe you're the type of person who feel like you need to people please, that people pleasing tendency is gonna be activated within you when you do share more, because you're actively feeling like when you share something on an Instagram story, for example, that means that whoever's like trying to talk to you on there, that you owe them replying to them, because I mean, you posted it. That's what a lot of the times when we grow up believing, it's like, well, I posted it, so I should be able to take the smack that comes with it. No, you shouldn't. You don't need to take the smack that comes with you being who you are and who you need to be. But you also need to understand that it's better for you to sometimes not be as active or be as open about everything that's going on in your life, because it can severely set you back. It can let the gates open. It's kind of like if you watch Sinners. If you haven't watched Sinners yet, go watch Sinners. But this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler alert, so maybe skip this part if you don't want to hear it. If you're dealing with someone who you're not really sure whether they're true to their what they're talking about, like who they are or not, the best way to weigh them out is to wait to see if they start kind of like nagging on you. And in Sinners, you know, you have the specific creatures. I'm not going to say who they are, but there's some evil creatures that show up to the little party joint that they got going. And they're like, can we get in? Why can't we get in? We should be in here. And the only reason you actually end up letting people into your life that are probably gonna ruin your life, there's a freaking fly in here, is because you are letting these people nag at you, because you're like literally like telling everyone that you got this party going on. Like in the movie Sinners, they got a party going on. And I'm not saying you can't party up, but sometimes it's better to kind of like lay low until you are done with what you need to get done. And then understand that if someone does come to your door, knock on your door, the metaphorical door, like the door of your mentality, and are like, I should be let in. What are you doing? Who are you with? What are you doing? I should be let in. This is when you got a clock. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to let this person sit out for a little while, because if they are truly here for something bad or have bad intentions, they're going to get mad and they're going to try to get more desperate, and they're going to try to knock on the door even more. So I'll know by then whether they're actually true. But one thing that we have a tendency to do, which is also relation to Sinners, is that we tell someone, just come in. Just come in. That's what we do when we post on social media, when we're like, I'm here, someone, whoever, do you want to come out? Should we go do this? Let's go do this. Now I'm here at this time, right now, right here. People are going to be like, okay, I'm going to come. I'm going to come. You're letting me in. You're literally giving me the green flag to come and ruin this for you, because you do not have enough boundaries to be able to say, I'm going to let this sit. And this probably also stems from you maybe having like a feeling that you need validation, and you want to invite people in because you're afraid you're not going to get validated if you do not invite anyone in and you're not telling them everything that's going on in your life. We can talk about that in a different video, and it might sound harsh, but sometimes it's true. But the next thing that I want to talk about is that you are probably too comfortable letting people spill all of their beans on you. That is another way that we need to know way less about each other. I know for a fact that when you do a little self work, when you do a little self growth work, one thing that you're going to become much more aware of, that I've definitely noticed with myself, is that people are going to try to like spill all of their negativity beans on you to kind of see how much of a chokehold they can have you in. This is to see if they can drag you down. If you've ever seen someone, like imagine yourself standing on a chair and you are either going to try to pull that person up with you or they're going to try to pull you down. What do you think is easiest? Is it easiest to pull that person down from the chair, or is it easiest to pull the other person who's standing down on the ground up with on the chair with you? Well, you know what the answer is going to be? It's going to be easier for you to be dragged down from that chair. That is what a lot of people clock when you start having more growth and when you start becoming a better version of yourself. You are going to be easier to drag down, especially if you're not on a chair that's high enough. Metaphorically, you're not going to be on a chair that's high enough yet, so it's going to be easy for them to drag you down, and they're going to clock that because you're still putting yourself in environments where you're not supposed to be. And you know what? I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about that, because myself and I go to karaoke. I love karaoke. I love singing. Sometimes it sounds good, sometimes it sounds bad. But one thing that I have noticed is that karaoke places a lot of the time are a little gnarly. And that is actually the main reason why I don't go karaoke anymore, because first and foremost, there's a lot of, I don't know why, but there's usually a lot of drunk British people in there. Nothing wrong with British people. I love British people. But people are drunk. People are like, usually maybe they're a little too like over the place, and it's not always people that got the most going on for them that are in these places. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with not having anything going on and the only thing you got going on is going to karaoke, because me, myself, and I've been there. If I'm going to karaoke, that's because that's what I want to do. But one thing I have noticed is that when I do go by myself, because sometimes I go by myself because I just want to sing, I want to get my sing on, I do get approached by people that are not necessarily people that I want to enmesh myself with. One thing that I usually understand and I clock that these people tell me is that, wow, you look very, very bushy. And who are you here with? And as soon as I say I am here alone, that's when people are like, ooh, we should be friends. And I've had that happen to me a couple of times. And I'm like, I'm not here to be friends with anyone. Can't a girl just go out on her own and sing a little karaoke? Can't I just go out? No, apparently not. One thing that definitely did happen to me once was that I was trying to have a normal conversation, like I'm just waiting for my turn to sing. And I'm having this conversation with a girl, and she's starting to tell me a lot about her life that I'm actually not interested in hearing. And you know what? I ended up feeling like I needed to be her therapist, and I needed to like tell her a bunch of things. And I felt like this role was wrong. This is not a role that I'm interested in being, because you know what? I've worked enough on myself to know that my energy is precious, and I'm not here to solve your problems when you're literally not going to go solve them for yourself. You are probably going to sit there and just tell me about all of these things, because you know what? They want you to trauma dump, or they want you to trauma bond with them so that you feel like you have an obligation to take care of their broken wing. That is what a lot of people in victim complexes, or people that put themselves in bad situations, have a tendency to do. They want you to trauma bond with them so that you can help them with their broken wing. If they see a beautiful, nicely put together woman, someone who's got it, which apparently is me, then they're going to be like, okay, well, she's in this position, she's in this environment, which means that her guards are probably a little bit down. Then I'm going to try to put myself like upon this person, and I'm going to let them in on all of my things, all of my whatever's going on in my life. And then they're going to want you to like parent them. They're going to want you to therapist them to the point where they're going to overshare so much. They're probably going to even trauma dump on you to the point where you're going to be like, this is a lot. And it's going to be a lot because you're literally taking on the burden of their issues, and it's not your burden to bear. Your burden is your burden. Your life is your life. You're supposed to be taking care of yourself. You're not supposed to be taking care of everyone and their mom. No. So when you're out and about and you notice that people are going to like, are oversharing with you to a point where it's like, they want you to like reciprocate with like, I'm so sorry for you, or, oh, blah, 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 blah. That's when you got to clock it. It's like, We should all know less about each other, because a true equal to you, someone who's equal to you in growth and who's always trying to grow, would be more interested in knowing what you're about, and like, ooh, where do you see yourself? What are your goals? What is your vision? Like, oh, that's so interesting. I like doing this. I like doing that. They would not try to trauma dump their relationship on you. They would not try to trauma dump everything that they've gone through on you. They would not do that, because I got it. I got the freaking fly. They would not do that to you, because they are actually not seeing you as competition. If someone is doing that to you, that's because they are seeing you as competition, and they want to cipher your energy, because they do not have enough energy or enough guts to actually get on the chair with you. You're standing on the chair, you're up here, and they want to pull you down because they don't like the fact that you're up there. That's when I went to that karaoke place, and that girl said to me, "Oh, you're looking very bushy, you're looking very nice, you're looking a little much." Like, wow, I really thought to myself, who's that girl, when she walked in. I'm like, you're telling me this? This is a red flag that you're telling me this. It's not a compliment that you're telling me that I look like I'm bushy. It's not a compliment that you're telling me that I look like I got it too good. And it's going to make me way, way less susceptible to sharing everything that I got going on in my life, because I'm like, you're going to use that information against me for sure. I've had that happen to me. We can do that in another story time. Maybe I should do more story times. But anyways, if you let people share way too much with you, you're going to feel entitled to take care of their broken wing. And you know what's going to happen? Most likely, you're going to fall back into being that good girl who's taking care of everyone, making sure everyone's happy and healthy and taken care of, which means that you're going to end up being energy ciphered. You're going to end up going into self-love debt. You know what's going to happen then? You're going to end up being you're going to end up having a victim complex again. And then you're wondering why everything is going wrong in your life, why you're suddenly in the position that you're the victim. Like, why am I the one who's being exploited? Why do I feel so depleted? I'm actually pouring into people. Why are they not pouring back into me? Why am I not getting like rewarded for being this good person? Well, you know what? It is because they clock that they can take energy and they're not going to reciprocate that energy. So you end up having a victim complex from a person that already has a victim complex. A lot of girls get trapped in relationships that actually do this to them. And that's why they end up feeling like everyone and their mom is against them, because they are not ready to let go of being someone who's taking care of other people's broken wings. And that is why it's actually a really, really good idea to stop being okay with people oversharing everything with you, because we should all know less about each other. Like, if someone's sharing their literal childhood trauma with you within the first 5 minutes of you knowing them, that person is not supposed to be in your life. That person is going to try to drag you down, and you might think that they're just being honest and we're all girls and we're all meeting in the bathroom of the club and we're all fun and games. No, no, no. They're trying to drag you down because they see what you got and they want that for themselves, or they don't know how you got that, but they're not trying to get that for themselves. They want you to drag them with you up. They're like, can you get me there? But the only way that you're going to get is that you're going to step down from your chair. Okay, so the 2 ways in which we all should know less about each other. 1, you should share less about yourself with everyone and their mom, your boyfriend, your family, your friends. And I'm not saying you can't share stuff, like, still have fun. Doesn't mean you have to become a wall, like a brick wall, like, no, but just don't share all of those things that are actually serious, because you need to deal with that yourself. And if you can't deal with that yourself, then you got bigger fish to fry. And the second thing is, you need to get good at not letting people overshare with you and being like, maybe you just need to zone out. Like, start singing Christmas music in your head, like ding 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 ding, and stop putting yourself in environments where that's supposed to happen, like where that's gonna happen. I know for a fact that I like karaoke, but you know what? I'm gonna have to find myself a new karaoke place, because that's not gonna be good for me. I don't want to be in that position where some drunk person is gonna tell me all about their childhood trauma, because that's not my burden to bear. So, 2 ways. Don't share your own trauma with everyone and their mom, and also don't let people overshare, because you're going to end up trauma bonding with people nevertheless, and you're going to end up feeling like, why are people not like helping me? And that's not where you want to be. That's not taking you towards where you're supposed to go. So don't do that, honey bun. Step into your own energy. Pour into yourself first. Go sing karaoke in your room if that's what you want to do. And, you know, you can still go out on your balcony and scream if that's what you want to do. So put yourself first. Don't overshare. We should all know less about each other.